Bureau of Customs is one of the major revenue agencies of government tasked to raise resources to be allocated and utilized to fund its programs and projects. 2013, its revenue target is 340 billion pesos, a tall task for Commissioner Ruffy Biazon. Since last year, it failed to collect last year's target of 347 billion pesos. To ensure the agency's performance will be better for this year, a major reshuffle of the Customs Bureau was implemented by Commissioner Biazon. He joins us tonight on the phone to discuss why the revamped and will the move enhance revenue collection and what other measures will be implemented which will guarantee the targets are met. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for having me.
Sir, first of all, why the reshuffle? And is this due to performance of these customs collectors in meeting their targets? Because, sir, people are wondering why you fell short of your targets given the performance of the economy last year.
Well, the revenue collection target given to us was about 347 billion, and we were able to collect about 287. That was a positive growth to the collection of 2011, although we fell short of that target, but still an increase in the collection was posted. But in 2013, we would like to try a new configuration of our collectors with the objective of increasing the performance. So I reshuffled our collectors, trying out the good performers to put them in challenging ports, and hopefully this new configuration would lead to even more positive results.
So in terms of the figure for the collections, how much is the percentage, how much has it increased compared to 2011?
As we posted an increase of about 9.4% over previous year's collection. So this 2013, of course, we aim to not only post a higher growth, but the target given to the agency.
Yes. Sir, some quarters are asking why key officials of three major ports, we name the Manila Port, Batangas, and Limay, and the customs collector at the NAIA were not replaced. So far, sir, are you happy with their performance?
Well, as far as those ports are concerned, we did some rotations at the level of the collectors for assessment. Collectors for assessment are the ones in charge of the collection at those ports. So there were changes in those ports. It's just that the collectors themselves are staying. While in the other ports, there were movements wherein the objective was to bring certain collectors back to their original posts, meaning the items that they hold. And there were also changes that were done based on other factors aside from.
Yes.
So there were different considerations in the movement of those personnel. But everyone, all those ports had changes in the assessment department, which is the main unit which affects collection.
Sir, did these ports account for the biggest source of revenues for the government?
Well, the two major ports, the port of MICT and the port of POM, comprise about 85% of the volume. These are the major ports really, both located here in Metro Manila.
Sir, how about smuggling? Does it continue to be a major problem? How do you see this growing, especially now in 2013?
Well, we're pursuing our efforts to plug the loopholes in the system, because smuggling basically occurs because of the opportunity of connivance between importers and the crooked employees of the BOC. Plugging those loopholes within the system is our main drive, principally through automation and modernization, wherein we reduce the number of human interventions in the process of customs clearance. That is a trend worldwide, and that's what we intend to implement here in our own Bureau of Customs.
So what are being smuggled? Commonly, what goods are being smuggled?
So basically, consumer items such as food in the agricultural sector, of course, high-value items as well, vehicles. Rice is an example where we were able to intercept the biggest haul in the Bureau of Customs just a couple of months ago. So basically, those are the common items that are prone to smuggling.
Sir, how much in revenues are lost from smuggling?
I'm sorry?
How much revenues, sir, are lost from smuggling?
There was an estimate that it ranges between 50 to 60 billion. But it's really difficult to put in a specific figure logically because smuggling is unrecorded importation. So there are other means of measuring it, but based on studies, it's between 50 to 60 billion.
Sir, you've mentioned earlier one cause of this is connivance with some authorities or some people in charge. What measures are now in place to contain this problem?
Well, as I mentioned, automation and reducing the number of human intervention in the process. And then in the apprehension side, we've given specific goals for our investigating units and intelligence units to find out who are those involved in these processes. So it's both a systems reform and an enforcement issue that we are using to solve that problem.
All right, sir. How about the final word from you? How do you see 2013? What other measures, aside from those that you've mentioned, do you think would improve your target for this year?
Well, there are other non-traditional sources of revenue. Like, for example, if we're able to get an approval for an amnesty on vehicles which have not paid the proper duties and taxes, that would help us boost our revenues. Disposal of forfeited goods is another way, and basically tightening the noose on the business processes that we have to plug those loopholes.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for joining us tonight on News Live. That was Customs Commissioner Ruffy Biazon.
Thank you very much, Lee.